Hey guys, it's Stephen here, back with another video. How are you all doing today? We've got loads of wonderful transfer gossip for you. We're going to talk about 4 players in particular, but don't forget this channel for the month of January is sponsored by the wonderful people over at OneFootball, and it was by OneFootball that I heard about this first rumour today that we're going to talk about in a minute. So go and download the app. It's free, it's really good. I've been using it for about a year and a half, and I highly recommend it because it keeps me up to date when I sat there at work, just get a notification about some transfer news, something like that. Dead good. Go and download it in the link in the description below. But let's get into the video. And the first news is that apparently Manchester City have signed Hajduk Split's wonderkid Ante Palaversa for a fee of around £7 million. So if you're wondering why I'm looking this way, it's because I've never heard of this guy before. So I've got some notes here about the transfer. I'm going to try and run you through a little bit of information about this player. Now, he's only a kid still. He's only very young, 18 I think, and he's still not yet to play for the Croatian senior side, but he's only just broken through into the Hajduk Split team. I think he's played 17 appearances this season and scored twice for them. They're currently sat in 6th place in the league. He's not played for Croatia yet, but he is captain of their under-19s and scored 3 goals in 11 caps. But the thing that most excites me about this is allegedly how excited Pep Guardiola is. Now, apparently he's been telling people that he reminds him of Fernandinho. Now, we all know how highly rated Fernandinho is by Guardiola. He's the fulcrum, the hub of this Manchester City team, responsible for getting forward, keeping clean sheets for us, and mopping up all the attacks, and general just being a rock at the heart of our midfield. And players like Fernandinho are so hard to come by. You get some players that are great on the ball as number 6 but don't have the aggression or the physicality. You get some players who are great defensively but don't also have the kind of ability on the ball at the same time, the flip reverse kind of thing. Whereas Fernandinho has absolutely everything to his game. Now, Manchester City, I found this young lad over in Croatia that honestly never heard of before in my life, that apparently could be the long-term solution to that position. Now that's exciting because obviously people like him, you just don't appear very often. And it'd be getting this guy for only 7 million and he's as good as they say he is. Well, it's worth paying attention to. Now, I've got to say, I want to recommend this video now by BW Tactic, which someone sent me on Twitter, which basically has like a brilliant 13-minute breakdown of everything about this young player, about how he plays and how his style, and it's really useful. So go and watch that. It'll be on screen somewhere right about now, and make your own formations of the player. Now, obviously, there isn't loads to go off other than YouTube stuff, but he seems to be very, very good. The thing that I like about him, he has all the hallmarks already of a Guardiola kind of player. He seems to be very comfortable with counter-pressing. His positional awareness seems absolutely excellent, dropping into left-back positions to cover bombing forward fullbacks, and he seems to understand when to go forward, when to sit back. He seems to also have a very good physicality to him. He's mobile, he's energetic. He won something like 78% of his aerial duels this season as well, apparently, and that's a good number. It means he tends to be strong in the air. He's not small like Kante or someone like that. He's a good size to him. He's physical, he's fast. He seems to be able to pass the ball really well. Now, one thing I really liked about him, from what I saw so far, is that he has this ability to do this almost Busquets kind of thing where he's looking that way and the ball goes that way. That breaking the line things has become so popular with Guardiola teams. That ability to split defences, break several defenders and just launch an attack through a very clever kind of shifted pass, looking one way then going the other. That stuff is very, very hard to teach, and if he has that instinct already, he has that ability to make those passes, that's a game changer potentially. He also seems to have a wonderful pass on him, playing long balls diagonally from left to right to left, picking out runners, and he seems to be very intelligent with his all-round play. Now, this is all based off YouTube clips, but it's a very thorough video. Go and check it out, and it seems to be very exciting. He looks like the rough diamond in the making that someone like Guardiola could get his hands on and really nurture to be a long-term prospect for Manchester City. I'd like this guy. Honestly, I'm a bit cynical towards it. I don't know how much of this will be a situation where he comes in, he goes out on loan first a little bit, then we never see him again, we sell him eventually in the future. I hope it's a case where he actually does come in and get involved, because I love seeing these little random signings out of nowhere. I'd never heard of this kid, and all of a sudden he's a Manchester City player. That's really exciting. Now, of course, I don't know if he'll come now in the January transfer window or in the summer, and it's not even been officially announced yet, but the rumours are incredibly strong. I don't suspect we'll see him in January. I suspect if he does sign when it's officially confirmed, he'll come in the summer after spending the rest of the season there. It'd make no sense for him to be dragged away from his first full season of professional football with Hajduk Split. He's a really interesting player and one to keep an eye on. Next, I want to talk about the flying Welsh winger Rabbi Matondo. Now, he's been playing for our EDS teams and Checker Trade Trophy recently, and I've seen plenty of him before. If you don't know much about him, he's an explosive, very tricky, very skillful winger who loves to score a goal, and he's also made his full international debut for Wales. It's becoming a weird trend this now, where players start for the national team before they've even played for their first team, which is crazy, but he's played there alongside Matt Smith as well, who's currently out on loan at FC20. but he's a very exciting player. Now, according to loads of sources, including Bild over in Germany, Monchengladbach want Matondo to be the successor to Thorgan Hazard when he eventually moves on. So someone put it to Max Erbel, who's the sporting director of Gladbach, and he said, "I'll have to call Pep," which is pretty obvious what he tends to do there. Now, it's not just Mönchengladbach who are allegedly involved with him, according to the sources. RB Leipzig, Munich, Hoffenheim, Everton, Southampton are all interested, and City allegedly value him around 10 million euros. This would be a huge shame to lose him because he's another very promising player, the kind of player that he should, in my opinion, be getting runs out when we're 5-6-0 up or whatever, 4-5-0 up. Those kind of games. Matondo is the kind of exciting young player that should be getting on every now and then, showing how good he could potentially be, because he's the kind of player, if one good season, his value could rocket to 40-50 million somewhere. Now, I know what you're going to say, how does he get games, whatever, but I do maintain that having one academy lad on the bench every now and then isn't a bad thing if they've earned. Matondo is a very exciting young player. We only got him a couple of years back from Cardiff, so he's still relatively new to the club, but he'd be a shame to lose out on such a talent. But he's obviously looking over at Germany, seeing these young players do well there, thinking, I want a piece of that. I suspect there is something in this. Whether it happened now, I don't know. Fingers crossed it doesn't. Another youth player who could be on the move is Tom Dele-Bashiru. Now, Tom nearly didn't sign a scholarship back when he was 16 years old. City spent a long time trying to get him to agree to terms, and eventually he did a couple of months into the season. And since then, he's had a kind of mixed time, if we're being honest. He was part of the same generation of players as Phil Foden and Jadon Sancho, and around the team with Brahim Diaz, that was seen as a golden generation, an under-16s team that was winning 8-9-0 every week, and he was really highly rated. Now, he's not kicked on to the same level as Foden obviously has, and Jadon Sancho, but now he's seen his two friends obviously do really good things, and I think he's 19 years old now. He's probably thinking, I want a bit of that as well. And given the fact that he's not really been close to the first team since he made that substitute appearance last season against Leicester in the Carabao Cup, I wouldn't really blame him for wanting to move on. And to be honest, City probably should let him go because he's nowhere near the first team at the moment. He's a really good player. Apparently he might be going to Atalanta in Serie A, which is interesting given the fact that he's an English lad, playing for England, all that kind of stuff. Playing for a Serie A club like that, well, I wish him all the best if he does go there. What to know about him? Well, he's a physical player. He has a great burst of pace. He's strong. He's also very technical. He's good passer. 1-2's obviously very good at that kind of stuff. Bursting past defenders, bursting past midfielders. And he can also score a goal with a long-range rocket or two. Now, you got to look at ex-City academy guys like Sako Fofana, who went over to Udinese and did really well there. He's built a good career for himself. And there's nothing to say that Tom Dele-Bashiru couldn't do the same thing. And according to Sammy Lee on Twitter, obviously Mr. Goal.com himself, City apparently rate Faseo Dele-Bashiru, his younger brother, a bit higher. I wouldn't really buy into that. It always seems that the younger brothers seem to be rated higher when one of the older brothers leaves. Seems to be a bit, a bit of a coincidence. Faseo, in my opinion, isn't at the same level as Tom Dele-Bashiru, so I don't know what they're on about there, but maybe they do think that. I think he's a little bit below that level personally, but yeah, if Tom Dele-Bashiru goes, I suspect he will, because I don't think he has a future at City. I wish him all the best. Finally, I want to talk about Frankie de Jong, because I reckon this will probably be the last time I actually do this. It's looking likely, and everyone's saying that he's going to join PSG. Not Barcelona, not Manchester City. He's going to join PSG. It's been going absolutely crazy all over the internet. Gerard Romero, in particular, one of the notable journalists, saying that his future is pretty much tied up and he'll be a Paris Saint-Germain player. Apparently, Ajax, according to the Mirror, had felt Man City could win the race for Frenkie de Jong, but suspect City may be worried about financial fair play. Got tongue-tied there, like Manchester City probably are over financial fair play too. Yeah, this is a huge disappointment, really, because Frenkie de Jong is the exact kind of player that Manchester City need at the moment, really. He's obviously a generational talent, the kind of player that could come in and be moulded into something really, really special under Guardiola. Does he have that same level of tenacity as Fernandinho has? Probably not, no. But is he probably arguably more cultured than Fernandinho? Maybe. He's more of a Busquets kind of take on the role, in my personal opinion, and that's something that would work very well in a Guardiola team, as we all know. It would be a huge loss to miss out on Frenkie de Jong, but it looks likely that he's going to PSG. I don't really get that personally, because I don't think it's the best league to develop in, League One. It's rather easy, if we're being totally honest. Yes, he will play at the highest stage in the Champions League amongst some very, very good players, some world-class players, but you don't get tested every week, and surely the best way to learn is to face challenges and face difficulty. And in a one-league team, and a lot of people say this about other leagues, but League One actually is only a one-league team. I don't really see how he can develop to the level that he wants to be up there. He needs sterner challenges. He needs the Premier League. He needs La Liga. He needs something where he's not going to basically turn up 5-6-0 every single week, because they're just miles ahead of the rest of the league over at PSG. If he wants to go there, fair play to him. But this will be something that City will regret and something that Barcelona will regret as well. Who knows who will go for in the summer now? Maybe Ndombele, maybe Neves, maybe someone else that we don't know yet. Maybe this Palaversa guy is a long-term replacement for a bargain 7 million. Who knows? Anyway, guys, there's a nice long transfer video there. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget as well, if you are new to this channel, make sure you like it. And also, big thank you to all these names scrolling down the side of the screen here. These are my Patreons to keep this channel going all the time. Patreon.com/Esteemed Company if you want to get involved in all this. Go and check out the video I did with Sam Lee the other day. Go check out me on Sky Sports News as well. How good was that? And I'll see you soon.